Yes, and I had to use it again today, driving here, because there was an accident on I-4, and I did not want to miss the service, so I was able to recalculate my directions. The GPS makes it possible to always know where you've been, where you are, and where you're headed. It kind of reminds me of our past, our present, and our future of our life, from a visual and geographical perspective. And the beautiful thing is, no matter how many times we get off our course, the GPS never gets angry. It just keeps recalculating from where you are. And it's very useful, especially on a day like today. My talk today is about our spiritual GPS, our guiding power with spirit. The way the GPS guides us on our driving adventures, our inner guidance system is helping us navigate life with clarity and purpose. It's how I believe our spiritual GPS guides each and every one of us on our earthly adventures. We get to acknowledge our current feelings and our emotions about a situation. Sometimes we're feeling overwhelmed, questioning ourselves, self-doubt, disbelief, and then we get to aim our desired outcome: peace, calm, awareness, harmony. And yes, we get to live in a busy world. There's always something or someone fighting for our attention. At any given moment, we can feel overwhelmed by it all. There are so many choices, thoughts, and feelings, all clamoring to grab our attention. And often, we react. Sometimes poorly, sometimes inadequately, sometimes half-heartedly. But likewise, we try following a certain path, only to find ourselves traveling down dead-end streets or roadblocks, or my favorite, please pardon me, I'm under construction. Take a detour. Sometimes we allow ourselves to drift. Life presents us with a wide range of opportunities and possibilities. And in each crossroads and every corner of life, every once in a while, we miss a turn. Why? Because sometimes we get interrupted by our fears, our anger, by upsetting things. We sometimes get interrupted by our absolutes that consume us and won't allow us to imagine something different. So we go off track because we're not paying attention within. But it's also to remember that we are resilient beings. It's not about preventing the obstacles, but rather how we can overcome them. Because we really don't know where life will lead us. But we get to hear that inner voice within speaking to us, speaking within our heart. And it may tell us, do something different, make that U-turn, or keep your course. And then we get to take steps with the sure and certain knowledge that there is no such thing as a wrong turn. Because the amazing part is, there is no right or wrong turn, because we cannot fail. Why? The beautiful part is that we keep on viewing. We get to view and understand that everything is changing, that our views are changing, our understanding of things are changing. And we get to correct our actions by our choices. And attuning to that inner voice deepens our sense of purpose at every moment. Because there's a wonderful spectrum of thought energies, from very constructive and self-focused to very positive and life-affirming. Because that beautiful stillness, silence and stillness, come hand in hand. And together, they're our best friends. And that stillness and that silence are our best teachers. Because in the silence, our heads can be a little bit lighter, there's more clarity, and things become, things and answers and solutions emerge. And inner strength gets to reveal itself. So what are we giving our attention to? Are we giving our attention to low frequency thoughts or high frequency thoughts? Are our thoughts getting us to our true destination, or are thoughts meandering and getting us down a different road? Our mind and our spirit are the most overlooked and underappreciated components of our well-being. Your mind is powerful and can cause us to imagine the best or the worst. And the beautiful part is that our struggles don't define us. We have choices, and we have the power to change our focal point, our thoughts, our attitude, our perception, just by our thoughts and by our actions. And just like the earthbound GPS, our inner guidance treats us with infinite patience. But instead of telling us to recalculate, the universe sends us signals, signposts. Reevaluate. What's really important? Reevaluate. Where are you going with your life? Reevaluate. What are you paying attention to? Reevaluate. What matters to you? I started thinking about my own spiritual journey, but all the times I've been called to reflect. I remember I remember not just the times when I was faithful and got it right, but I also remember the times when I felt like I was stuck on some road going nowhere, missing the obvious exits over and over again. But it's also a reminder that for better or worse, challenge is an ingrained part of our growth and our awakening. Because all of us struggles at one point or another. But what keeps us in that alignment is our purpose and our intention and focusing within. Because self-awareness, that inward movement, guides us with what road we're going to take, where we need to make a course adjustment, whether the path that you're on is the right one for you at that time. Because part of life is re-examining your purpose. Because when we're feeling stuck, it helps us to identify those issues by clarifying what's important and what matters to you. To recognize why you are participating. Because this way, you get to focus less on the unimportant things and eliminate that stress and worry that builds up within. By stating your purpose and intention with whatever you're doing. I mean, as simple as, I get to do laundry. And that way I know that when I get done doing the laundry, yes, it feels good. I have clean clothes for the next day. Or I get to do the dishes, because then it's like I get to eat on clean plates. And and I appreciate that. It can be as simple as that or something even more profound. Because life itself is a rhythm, and it ebbs and it flows. And it has that wonderful vibration and pulsation at the very heart of all that is, with that passion and that purpose and our love. Because within the universe, there are no limits. There are infinite choices, infinite possibilities. And so all of life exists as a tool of our own creation. And all those events put us forward with opportunities for us to choose and be who we are. And life illustrates that life illustrates no other way for you than the way that which we think and the way that we're looking and the steps that we're taking forward. And the beautiful part is the universe will nudge us forward in the direction that we're looking at. It will help us to take a step in that direction that feels good to you. And then we get to notice what the next step is, and we get to take it. The wonderful thing is that it's all about our beliefs and what we're capable about, what's possible or impossible about who we are. Because we spend so much time focusing our attention on things that really don't serve us. When the thing that would serve us most is to focus our attention within. to taking that moment, to just take a breath, to meditate, to recognize what matters to me, what's important to me. Not all of the chit-chatter and the different noises that we're hearing from the outside world. If we can just observe and understand how our thoughts are impacting us, we can change who we're being and how we're experiencing the world. Because it's easy to get distracted. It's easy to, all of a sudden, we're noticing that, hey, I'm feeling a little sad. Is it the rain? Is it the weather? Is it something else? It starts with that simple realization that we can feel free and present and be open here in this moment. If we just choose to release the little worries that stand in the way of that. And again, it's not about beating ourselves up over our mistakes or congratulating ourselves for doing well. It's simply to see yourself more clearly and learn from it. Because this way, you're learning to navigate life difficulties more gracefully. Because when we're faced with something that we can't change, we get to change our focal point. And just like our wonderful GPS recalculates our route and where we're going, our inner guidance can ask us, what can I do differently? What steps can I take? What movement can I change? Because putting things into perspective tells us which battles to fight and which ones not to focus on at all. It's about being gentle with ourselves, and being gentle how we judge and criticize our own actions, our own thoughts. How many times do we sit there and have that self-talk and saying, oh, this was no good, or that was a little crazy. But it's just to allow yourself to just take the steps. Like I did today when I saw that there was a traffic jam on I-4. It's like, okay, I'll just take a different road. I'll still get here. Seek then to create the change, not because the thing is wrong, but because it no longer makes an accurate statement of who you are. Because we're constantly experiencing life, and we are creating our reality every single moment. And of course, we want to be certain, or as certain as we can be, of the outcome before we take that first step. We all have that little bit of nervousness. But the amazing part is that we're constantly recalibrating, we're constantly reevaluating, we're constantly re-examining who we are. Consciously or unconsciously, we're constantly doing that because change is just constant and it's natural. And just like the GPS, there's always another way. There's always a new point of self-discovery, a point of greater clarity, a point of, oh, maybe this road will be a little bit easier and less trafficy. There's always new and different ways waiting to be discovered. And it's just to pay attention, to look for that greatest joy, to look for that greatest opportunity, to look for the magic and the wonder and the excitement of life. Because what you do with what you have is how you look at the situation. We can all see something and have a different perspective, but it's within us that makes it joyful or sad or overwhelming. And of course, we always like to think that we're in control, that we're in the driver's seat, that we know exactly what we're doing when we make that turn. Or we're like, no, maybe I-4 is going to be a little bit heavy traffic. Let me go off on a different way. But next time we get to use our GPS, just take a moment to reflect on its deeper meaning and how it can serve us as a reminder to stay aligned with our inner guidance. Because there's so much more that we know inside if we just stop and take a moment and pay attention within. And thank you all for listening.